Hello and welcome to Inside Music, episode number 156. I'm your host, James Shotwell, and it's great to be with you again. My guest this week is a returning favorite of the show, Lou Miceli, vocalist for the band Palisades, who have been on the road pretty much since the last time he was on the show. If you recall, Lou appeared back in December to promote the then forthcoming release of his band's new album, Erase the Pain, which came out just before the end of 2018 and has not left the rock world's conscience since. In the time since we last spoke, Palisades have been out on the road heavily, touring with groups like Nothing More, Of Mice and Men, and currently Ice Nine Kills and From Ashes to New. Now, both those runs have taken the band all over the country, sometimes to the same city more than once, and Lou is going to talk about all of that on the show today. We also get into a discussion about things he's learned from his time on the road this year, how fans have been reacting to Erase the Pain, and what you do when your life is built on relationships with fans, specifically fans who are sharing their struggles with you. You see, back when Palisades released Erase the Pain, they set out to do something very specific, and that is to share all of the troubles, all of the hardships, all of the difficult things that come with being in a band like Palisades. They did a great job of doing so, and one of the things that they got as a result was fans coming up to them, both new and old, sharing their own hard times and experiences with them. And Lou talks a lot about that in this conversation. But what most people don't realize is that when artists are hearing that kind of thing, they then go and they get in their bunk or they get in the van at night while they're driving between cities, and they just sit there and they have every conversation that's been had with them that day, every experience that's been shared with them on their mind, as well as every other experience shared throughout the tour. Dealing with all that and keeping your head above water is something that many people struggle with, and Lou lets us know how he does it during this conversation. But before we get there, I do want to tell you a few quick things. First and foremost, this episode of Inside Music, like all episodes of Inside Music, are brought to you by Holix, the music industry's leading promotional distribution platform. Now, what that means is that Holix works with record labels, independent artists, managers, publicists, and a whole lot of people in between to share new and unreleased music without fear of piracy. It's the system that is used by the industry to connect artists with tastemakers. Now, that can mean radio, that can mean journalists, that can mean anyone that has an audience who wants to know about what's new, what's hip, what needs to be heard. To have your music be part of the Holix world, a system that is used by everyone from Metallica to Chance the Rapper, visit Holix.com. That's Haulix.com. You should also be following Holix on Twitter. That's where you can find updates about this show, Inside Music, as well as tons of advice on how to navigate the music industry. That's at Holix, Haulix. And finally, I cannot get to this conversation without telling you to check out Palisades' album, Erase the Pain. It was one of my favorite records of last year, and it came out so close to 2019 that it might as well count as one of my favorite albums of this year as well. So please, head out there and check it out. It was produced by Howard Benson. It features tons of great songs, many of which are in rotation at rock radio and Sirius and all the other radio stations in the world right now. And it's the kind of album that might just change your life. So go out there, give it a chance, and I think you're going to fall in love. But until then, here's my conversation with Lou Miceli.
It's a little humid outside, but not bad.
Where are you guys at today?
Today we are in South Carolina. We are in, sorry, everything kind of just blurs together sometimes. Greenville. We're in Greenville, South Carolina.
Okay, and you're still on the Ice Nine Kills From Ashes to New tour? Is that which one you're on now?
Yes. Yep.
That has to be blurring together for you at this point a little bit as well, right? I don't feel like you guys actually got off the road after the Nothing More run.
We literally, it's literally just one giant blur. Like, Nothing More tour, the last day was in San Antonio, and then we had to drive from San Antonio back to Jersey. And then there was only literally a day in between that we had home to, like, shower, do laundry real quick, and then we had to start the tour the next day.
Well, is it treating you well so far? You haven't run yourself ragged just yet?
Oh, I mean, it's been amazing, but we've literally had the worst slew of bad luck that we could have possibly had. Like, in between these things. Like on the end of the Nothing More tour, everybody got sick with like an upper respiratory infection. So I wound up like losing my voice for like a week and a half. And then after that, on the way home, our Sprinter had a check engine light on. We went to go get it looked at. They said it wouldn't be done for like a few weeks, so we had to like rent a bandwagon. And then, you know, so now we're in that, and then like the generator died on the bandwagon, and then we popped a tire, we blew a leaf spring, our door flew off our trailer. Literally just everything that could go wrong vehicle-wise went wrong. So it was pretty crazy. Other than that, though, the shows, everything else has been incredible. It's just lots of vehicle problems.
That's to be. I mean, it can't all go right, right?
Right. Exactly.
Well, I live in Grand Rapids, so I've been fortunate enough to see you guys twice in like the last 6 weeks. You guys have really been
awesome.
making the rounds in Michigan as of late.
Yeah. Right.
It's been fun though, because the Nothing More tour, you guys did some bigger rooms. You kind of were in the same place in both lineups. So have you been playing basically the same set length on each run?
Yeah, we switched out one song for this tour, for the Iceland tour. We brought back an older song called Player Haters Ball, and it's it's really fun. It's a little heavier. We thought it'd be cool for like the crowd just to hear like a heavier, older song for that, and it's been going really well. But we're excited to be able to like get home, practice, so we can start playing some other of the new songs and maybe some old ones too.
Well, how long are you guys actually, when do you go home, and then how long are you there before you start? I think the Bless the Fall run is next.
I believe, I believe it's 2 weeks, which is like the longest time we've had home in like 10 months.
And then how long does the Bless the Fall run last?
I believe that's about a month and a half.
And
that's way too long. Way too long. I think it's a month. Yeah.
And then I guess you'll probably have slightly more time to play on those because you're direct support for that run.
Yeah. We're gonna have a longer set on that, so it would be cool to see like what songs we choose to play. Especially there's some on the new album that I definitely want to play for sure.
Have you learned anything along the way so far? I imagine touring with that Nothing More tour is really interesting because I felt like you had a little bit of everything in that lineup. Like you guys fit in well, but every act kind of brought something different to the table.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, I guess the thing that I've learned from touring with so many like incredible bands and especially incredible vocalists is like, especially on the Nothing More tour. Every day, we're very, very close with Nothing More, and we were close with Mice Men and all their crew, and then we got really close with Backfire as well. And especially during my time of sickness, like, just how important health is on tour and vocal health and taking care of your instrument. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta really, really take care of it. Not yelling after shows, keeping your voice down, taking care of it, warming up, warming down, eating the right foods, not doing things that are going to hurt your vocal cords and, in the long run be a problem. So that's one of the things that I really, really took from that is just, doing everything I can to make sure that like as a vocalist, I can represent Palisades to the best of my ability.
Well, that's great to hear that. That's a useful lesson. And when I was out with, when I interviewed the From Ashes to New guys when you guys were just in Grand Rapids, and they seemed like they had been having a few hard times with health as well. So I guess it's just the season. Touring in the spring just tends to bring out the sickness.
Yeah, especially with allergies too. Like I have severe allergies, and these last 3 days specifically, there's just pollen everywhere, and my eyes and nose, and it's a mess.
Well, Erase the Pain has been out for, I guess, 3.5 months now. It feels like it was just yesterday to me, so I'm sure it feels that way to you. But having seen you twice in the last month, clearly people are taken to the music. Has the response been good pretty much everywhere you've been? Yeah,
it's honestly been phenomenal. It's incredible to hear to see the response online and on the charts, on the active rock charts, Spotify, Apple, all that stuff. But the real reward, honestly, is at the shows when we have people that have never heard of us before coming up to us and just saying like, "Hey man, I didn't know who you guys were, but I felt that shit. I felt that. I felt your set. I felt the lyrics. I felt connected. And then we have the people that do know who we are, that come up and say, like, you saved, like, your music saved my life. There's actually a tweet the other day that a fan tweeted at me and said, when I went up to Lou Miceli, I told him that his music saved my life. And then he's writing, and he responded saying, I didn't do that. You did that. You put in the work to, be here another day. And the fan said, that means more to me than anything. And it's those kind of connections that, people, we want to make people feel like they're not alone. We're just normal people. We're going through the same things that everybody else is going through in their lives. The only difference is that I have a microphone in front of my face half the time, And I want people, because when I was younger, I always listened to music that put me in the same place that I was in. So if I was upset or if I was, hurting, I wanted to know that someone else was feeling the same way that I felt, that I wasn't alone, that I wasn't weird or different for being emotional about something, And, bands like Linkin Park really helped me like that when I was younger. And I hope, Palisades can be that for this new generation.
I think that's a lofty goal, but a good one. And I think it's so important, especially because you've been on the road so much recently. I imagine that one of the benefits is that, especially during the day, you have little else to do except for kind of keep tabs on what people are saying or engage with fans on social media. Just to be, I see you guys retweeting a lot of people's thoughts or clips or like photos they take at the show and stuff. And I think people underestimate just how far that goes into like establishing a relationship with people.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, I think a lot of bands, especially or artists or in general, that like get big quick, don't necessarily really understand that aspect of being an artist. And I think it's literally the most vital part of being a musician or an artist or whatever you do. The fans, the people that resonate with your art, your music, whatever it be, like, those are the people that matter the most in your career. And the fact that, like, we have such an amazing fan base that's really more like a family, it's just a credit to them. They're just so supportive of everything. And with our band, the growth we've made over the years, we've never forgotten that, and we never will forget that, because without that kind of love that the fans show us, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing right now. And it's more than that. It's not just about helping us with our career. It's about being there for them. Like, some of these fans have had the worst lives or stories or things happening to them, and just knowing that, like, all music puts a smile on their face and gets them through a day, like, that's all worth it right there.
Absolutely. Well, let me ask you this, because this is something I've been talking about with people recently, especially after putting out an album like Erase the Pain. Is there anything you do to kind of not clear your head necessarily, but I assume that because of the the material that you're discussing and the kind of things you're bringing to the table with this record and the newest music, and then into the live show, that when people come to you and you tell you their stories, kind of like you just hinted at, they'll tell you something so heavy. And what fans don't always realize is that what is a once in a lifetime opportunity for them is something that sometimes happens to you several times a day. And so you hear like 9 terrible stories, and then you get into the van or whatever, and you just sit there like with all this new weight on your shoulders. So like, how do you, I guess, keep your spirits up or keep your head above water with kind of the added weight of like, this is my pain that I'm trying to get rid of?
Yeah, I mean, it's heavy, right? It's really heavy, and but it's real. It's what they're going through is what I'm going through, and it can be a lot of weight on our shoulders. But I think for me, coming from like a very talkative Italian family, I rely on my brothers in the band. I rely on my family. I rely on the people that my girlfriend, like the people that I hold dearly in my life, to vent and to talk and to get things off my chest that I need to talk about. That they can be there for me, and just like how I'm there for them. And especially with the 5 of us in the band, like, we all live around the corner from each other. We're all brothers. We've been doing this thing for a long time together. We know the inner workings of everyone's lives in the band. And the best thing that you can do, in my opinion, is reach out to someone, talk to someone. Even if you think that they won't listen, I bet you that they will. Because human connection is so important. It's the number one thing that, like, literally keeps all of us going, is just feeling like you can connect with something or someone. So for me, it's honestly just being able to talk to the people that I love in my life, and openly and honestly, and have them give me advice, because no one's perfect, and everyone needs a helping hand sometimes. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I need help right now. Can you help me? There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, as far as you've been on the road so much now, when I spoke with Of Mice and Men last month, they had this great comment to me about how they had just finished recording. They don't know when they're going to put out their record yet or whatever, but it was the first time in their career that they were just doing one thing. Like, they always were like looking towards the next event, and currently they were just on the road, just playing, just not working on something else. Is that kind of where you are? Because I feel like Palisades is one of those bands where you always have the next thing is like somewhere in progress while you're on the road, but you've been on the road so much. Are you just in the moment right now, or are you also working on something else at the same time?
I don't think we'll ever be, in the entire history of or the entire future history of our band, we'll ever just be able to work on one thing. It's just not how we are, and it's a little overwhelming sometimes. But yeah, right now, we're working on some very cool stuff. We're always recording music, we're always writing music, and because the thing is that like the second that you're not working hard, someone else is working harder than you. You know what I mean? And you always want to give. I mean, this is our lives. We could have chosen to do anything with our lives. We could have gone to school. We could have been lawyers, doctors, whatever we wanted, but this is what we chose to do. And it can be overwhelming. It can take a lot. It can be very tolling on your emotional, mental, and physical psyche of everything. But, that we love it. And right now, it's nice to be on the road, but we always have that mentality of, okay, what's next? Like, how do we keep this going? What can we write about next? Like, what's going on in our lives right now that we feel like we need to talk about? Or, what's the next awesome riff? Or can we do different versions of songs? Or can we release different things? Or, whatever, give fans like the best Palisades experience they possibly can. Because in today's world, there are no breaks. Everything's so fast. I mean, look at pop culture. Look at hip hop. Look at pop music. They're not even releasing albums anymore. They're just releasing songs, just songs and songs and songs. And it's so fast. And the minute you fall behind, you fall behind. So it's very important, in my opinion, to always keep working, to be honest with yourself, write not just any music, but write good music and write music that connects to your fans. So, yeah, as much as we'd like to take a break, it really never is one.
Well, just to recap real quick, you guys are out right now, Ice Nine Kills From Ashes to New. It is a crazy tour. I got to see it. It's amazing. Those Ice Nine guys know how to put on a headlining set that never really ceases to amaze.
Oh, yeah.
Especially the Shark. For people that see the tour, they'll
Yeah.
know. The Shark's a great moment. And then you guys are going out with Bless the Fall and a ton of other great bands. I don't remember everyone else on that lineup. And then that goes on until June. What do you guys have festivals this summer? What are you doing over the summer? Is that not out yet?
We're going to be going to Europe with I Prevail. Doing a few things over there with them. And there's a bunch. Let me just put it this way. Our year is pretty much booked the whole way through. So there's a lot of stuff that's going to be announced sooner than later that I can't really talk about right now. But it'll be very awesome, very exciting, and we cannot wait for everybody to find out about it.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that real quick. Was it hard keeping the Bless the Fall news secret, because that poster came out, the tour mat, and everyone was like, that looks like the Palisades logo, and you guys had to be like, nah.
Yeah, it's, what it is, because on the business side, there's all like radius clauses, and it's like, and things have to be announced at certain times, and whatever, and because we're on towards nothing more, there's radius, and we had to make it seem like, not us, wait till the actual announcement comes out, you know what I mean? But I think it doesn't really matter. It's just all hype, and everyone's excited, and we're on it. So it'll be a really fun tour.
Well, I can't wait. You guys will be back here on that Bless the Fall tour, and I'm sure whatever you have coming up this fall, I will probably get to see. I'm actually curious how many times I can see Palisades this year. I'll be up to 3 by June. We'll see what happens after that.
You know what? Keep a tally going. We'll see. 'Cause they're so funny. Like, there's so many fans that they talk to us. They're like, I've seen you like 3 times this year already, and I'm like, that's crazy. But that's awesome though, because it means that like they keep wanting to come out and see us. So that's a good thing.
There you go. Exactly, man. Well, you stay safe out there, and hopefully we will catch up when I see you in May in like 6 weeks from now.
Thank you so much, man. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.